do you manage time for self, each other, family, and friends?
I think we beat you to the So, can I go first? Okay, because I was how do we manage time? If I'm able, see, I work from home for my main job. So if I'm able to have a good connection and my schedule just comes spontaneously clear, right? I can travel. If I can get to a destination before my day starts. But if I get to a destination, my surrounding has to be good, right? I answer calls. I work online. So my connection has to be good and my surrounding has to be good, which means I have to have a space that is suitable. That when I answer calls, I don't got to worry about getting reported for things that's going on in the background. It has to be clear, or it has to be at a respectable measure that it does not compromise the work that I have to do. And so, see, many people, they invite me, you could come here, you come there, and sometimes they're doing things, and I'm like, no, I can't do that while I'm working, because if I answer the call, or if I have a video meeting with my manager, with my director, with an executive, it's going to mess up what I'm doing, right? And then I have some people throughout time when they used to be like, it's just a job. If you lose it, your job, they're going to just replace you. I honor what God has blessed me with. I'm not a fool. Which means I'm not going to intentionally sabotage what God has blessed me with so that you can have the desire that you want from me. And then I won't have any type of work or anything to rely on and be in a position that you in. Because most of the people that said this to me, they didn't have any jobs. Or most people that said it to me, they wasn't stable in the jobs. So I like to protect what God has blessed me with. If you feel like, I understand that if anything happened on a job, I am replaceable. I know that. That is very true. But I'm not going to do anything to purposely mess up the blessing that God has trusted me with. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to nurture it. I'm going to get through the trials, the troubles, and I'm going to be responsible and accountable, because when God says, why would you let that go, that I gave you a stable income? I gave you somewhere that you can grow and prosper in, something that you can have as a dependency until I get you ready for the next level. So that's why when it comes to like the family, friends, and things like that, it has to be a time that I'm truly available and I don't have to give up the main things that I have, because I never ask anyone to give up what they got to do. I never, ever in my life have informed people to give up something that they have to do for me. That is selfish. If you have something you have to do, take care of your business. Whether we do it together or individual, take care of your business. I had people through our life, if you was busy then, I'm going to be busy later. If you want to be what is that, spiteful? I don't want nothing to do with that. Then people will say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. There's nothing to worry about. I'm going to kill everything here, y'all. I'm going to help you out. There's nothing to worry about. So you thinking that there's something to worry about? The devil got your mind tripped up. The devil got you in a place where you feel like somebody is taking care of their business and, you're not going to say anything. You are in an inclined state. There's nothing to say. Because whether you go all the way with the enemy to really believe that something is bad when it's not, I am going to take care of, and I speak for all of us that are putting forth, putting ourselves last to handle what we need to handle. It is okay. It is okay. Because when I'm ministering to people, I don't have people that's like, okay, do you need someone to help you do this? Do you need someone to help you do that? I don't have that. And sometimes it's random people, and I appreciate that. So if you try to contact me, I can't get in contact with you, but you in contact with this person, because I have a bookings. Many of you fight to say, everyone's busy. I'm not comparing myself to other people. When you get in that, you start trouble that's not even there. Mm-hmm. I'm not comparing myself. I'm not competing. What I'm telling you is Shaniqua Lewis is going to handle what Shaniqua Lewis needs to handle. And if you have something you need to handle, we can meet when we're both available. It's not, oh, I give up what I need to do so that you can be satisfied. And then you can say how successful and dedicated to what it is that you need to do or whoever else you support. I don't have people tell me all the time, like, you know, I love this person because they don't play. They handle what they got to handle. But then, oh, when I was in that circle, I'm going to talk high school because, you know, when I was in that circle, you told me I thought I was too good. You told me I was acting, shady or bad that's why I'm telling y'all, community members, be dedicated to what it is that you got to work with. Because when people have an agenda towards you, it don't have to be towards anybody else, towards you, and you allow them to rock you off of that foundation, when they gone, they're satisfied. They got you shaken up, but they're going to be inspiring others or probably tearing down others. You don't have to be the other. You don't have to be the one. For me, I'm going to be the none. Listen, I'm going to just be serious. I'm going to be the none. And I ain't talking about N-U-N. I'm talking about N-O-N-E. None. Off your scale. Off your scale, I'm not in your meter. I fear God. And I respect God enough to say, if I got to be your one or his one, I'm going to be his one and you're none. And I'm going to get it done. I love you. I care about you. But I have things to do. You see, still, if I don't do it, if I don't dedicate to God, he can't pour into me, huh?
Those are bars just now.
He can't pour into me, right? Something flew right on you. He can't pour into me. And I need God to pour into me because I help his people. And I need you to understand because I don't want you to be blinded and deafened in the ears and having bitterness. And I remember when I used to tell people that throughout high school, that's what they used to call me, Preacher Shay. They call me that before. I even have writings from high school days when they'd be like, oh, here come Preacher Shay. And you know, they used to say I never was really preaching, but they was like, she always has this agenda and, you know, she strives to stick to it. So that's the thing. I have that agenda. I strive to stick to it and we are expanding and I thank God for that. But that's how we do the balance because even with the work, family, friends, I don't really have people I can hang out with. I do have loved ones. I do have some people. We're all busy. I have people that have grown a close relationship with, businesswomen. We're busy. Sometimes we're on the phone for hours, praying. I don't have to say, hey, I didn't answer you because I was praying, interceding for somebody that was sick. That's not how I minister. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you how Jesus told his mother and father. Jesus left his mother and father and was with the people in the temple. And he said, you was looking for me. All you had to do was seek my father. That's what I tell people. All you got to do is go to God about me. That's it. Because God is going to always show up on my behalf because what I do for God is for real. And God blesses what I do in the lands. And everything else, all it takes is understanding and, you know, putting yourself out the scope as if people owe you an explanation for how they live their life. For me, I don't owe anyone an explanation of anything. I don't. And I live that way. I don't ask people to give me their explanations for their personal journeys. If you want to communicate, we can. I don't mind communicating, but I've never been a person that wants people just trailing on, what are you going to do at this time, and then what you going to do the next hour, and this. It's different if you are involved, but if you're not involved, the question now becomes, what is your agenda? Because remember, I know about monitoring spirits. What is your agenda? If you're asking me, okay, if you're going to go out and you're going to be protesting today, what time, what's your location? Now I want to know, are you planning to join? No, I just want to know. No, I just want to know. But now you got to ask yourself, why do you just want to know? Mm-hmm. And why should people who are not comfortable with spilling so much information have to feel bad or be justified by you when you're not helping them with what they're doing. See, that's the type of thing, that's the type of mind God had given me in my youth. So it's nothing about, not wanting to be involved with people. I'm involved with a lot of people. The thing is, you have to know barriers and restrictions. And when it comes to business, you have to understand that sometimes what God calls people to do, like with Noah, he didn't give that to everyone. Sometimes it's a collective, sometimes it's an individual. And when you learn those respectable boundaries, then you'll be able to function better, especially in communities. So that's what I can offer, when it comes to balancing time. Because for me, I remember people tell me all the time, you act like an old lady. It's not an old lady. It's not an old lady. Because I remember I was in school too.
I get that too.
It's not an old lady. I remember I was in 6th grade. 6th grade. I would go to school early. After school, I would say, I can't stay for nothing. I went straight to rehearsals some days, straight to Bible study some days, straight if we had church services some days, up until that night. After that, doing homework, projects. After that, giving God some prayer time. After that, get a little bit of rest, start it all over again. People say, you act like an old lady. It's called, God needs vessels in this world that will put him first. That's what pleases God. God is not here to take away fun. I teach my daughter all the time. Don't idolize fun. Fun is very dangerous in the world terms. And fun can collide with your business, especially when you believe you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in terms of fun because you are a young person. The devil is a liar. Nothing pleases God just as much as an older person serving God than a person in their youth. That's why Jesus said, don't stop the youth from coming to him. Mm-hmm. That's why God said, even what we do in our youth, we are accountable for. And when you have a structure, a set mind, a focus, like I said, for her, I'm getting ready for my next generation. Not only am I getting ready for my husband, my daughter is going to be a wife. My daughter's going to bring forth. I'm preparing to be a grandmother. Only God's timing. No, not now. I'm saying, you're about to be 18, right? You're going to start your individual journey, and then you don't know what's going to happen within 5 years. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying now. No.
I hope I'm actually aiming for within 5 years.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You never know God's structure for you. And that's what I'm learning about.
I'm aiming for you too.
Yeah. I'm solidifying the grounding for my future children and for my grandchildren. Because God said, we're responsible for our generation. That's where my focus is at. My focus is not on if people hate me or have this vengeance towards me because I'm not doing what they want. I already been through that. Mm-hmm. In my high school days. I already been through that. Devil, next strategy. Not gonna work. I'm gonna be the nun. That's how you do it. But the time that I do get with loved ones, I love it. We have a good time. We all come together. It's a good time.
Yep.
But then you gotta know it's a balance. And when you have that balance, and the more I get expansive, especially with the volunteers, I'll have more time. So if you really love me and you really miss me, help me get some volunteers. And I'll have more time. Spread, share the, hey, she needs campaign volunteers. She needs people on the ministry base. Well, I'll let God draw the ministry. You could just pray about that. But for the volunteers, for the community, if you really love me, and you really miss me, and you really care about the time that I can have with you, I need volunteers. I need people to be more interactive, and it would definitely take off a lot of responsibilities that I have. There are certain things that only I can do, according to what God assigned me for, but there are things that I can open up and allow others to be a part of. And that's how I manage time right now, is just the volunteers. Once I get that, we'll have more time. That's it. Now, what about you?
Okay, so for me,
Oh.
okay, so for me, my time is very, it depends on the day, honestly. I don't have a set time when I do anything, really. If I have time to do something, I have to get to what is my top priority and just go down the list. So that can mean Monday I'm baking at 3 p.m. That can mean Tuesday I'm baking at 6 because I had to write an essay when I got home. That can mean maybe Wednesday I'm baking early in the morning if I wake up early enough. Honestly, it all just depends on my top priority and what happens. And I mean, honestly, in high school, my time stuff just changes. It's gonna happen. I get assignments and everything just back to back. So I have to be very, like I keep saying, goal-oriented and keep my head in the space of this isn't stopping me from what I'm doing. This is just gonna give me, I have to break up time more so. I have to take things one at a time. I feel like, especially with my friends and stuff like that, I don't really see my friends much. Like, we don't hang out one-on-one if it's not in school. The times I do see them, it's like once in like 3 to 4 months. Mm-hmm. We go on a hangout, and that's good enough for me. I mean, I don't really see the enjoyment in being outside a lot. Like, I've just never been a type of person. I used to like going out and just seeing everything that goes on in the world. I just don't really want to be outside as much. And my friends neither. So it's kind of like we all have like our own understanding of things. And my friends, they respect my time management a lot. You know, I'm in a very supportive group. If someone can't make something, we don't make it into like a big deal. It's not the end of the world. You know, people have life going on. Mm-hmm. Life just happens sometimes. Mm-hmm. I've had to cancel plans hours before. I've had to cancel plans like days before. The day of, I've had to cancel. I've had people cancel on me the day of, hours before. Life just be happening. So, I mean, you know, I've never faulted someone for that. You know, things happen. I've had people fault me over it and be like, oh, well, you didn't show up for me and all of that. And it's kind of like, I feel like people focus on one time over the many others that you do put in for them.
True.
And once someone does that to me, it kind of makes me alter how I see them and how I perceive them. Because it makes me think about like, oh, so all those other times I did show up for you, you didn't really take that into account. And it makes you think like people who already have a perception of you and already want to not really be associated with you, they will find anything just to not want to fall. Like they you just find anything. Honestly,
that's true.
And I just feel like when it comes to time management, that's like a really big part of my life. Because I used to procrastinate. And procrastination is not good for you. It's not good for you. Mm-mm. And I just feel like if you want to do multiple things at once, you need to really think about, hey, what is the purpose of this? Is this really important for me to actually like put my time into? Because I used to want to do a lot of things just because other people were doing it. It's not like stuff like drawing and stuff like that. You know, I don't have a talent for it. I'm not really a drawer. I'm not really like too artisty and nothing like that. And I used to like take time out to do it just because other people were doing it. And then I realized, you know, I lost time when I could have been doing something important to me, like baking or just writing in general or getting my other things done. And I feel like once I realized that, I had decided I'm never going to do that again. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, I'm not going to repeat what happened before. I don't like to repeat mistakes, and I try my best not to. But when I do, I really have to sit myself down and like talk to myself and talk to God. And I feel like people don't do that enough. I don't think that people actually take the time to sit down and talk to God and actually like take the time to be alone. I feel like being alone is given such like a negative connotation, and it's really not. When you're alone, that doesn't mean that you're lonely. When
Amen.
you're alone, you're just alone. You're just by yourself. And I don't think being by yourself should automatically mean that you have to feel sad or you have to be depressed. You can be happy and be alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alone every day. I like being alone. You have to understand when you want to work on yourself, why put yourself around people if you're trying to better understand yourself? But that's another reason why you have to be communicative with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, you know, I tell my friends and stuff like that, like, hey, the next few days I'm not going to be online. The next few days I will be by myself in my room. Because you have to take those certain days, weeks, months even sometimes. You have to take breaks. You need to take the time out. The same way that you take the time out to get to be with other people and go places when you know you don't have the time to. Take that same motivation and do it for yourself. I'm a strict believer in the same way that you love the people around you, you should love yourself.
Amen.
And I feel like that really has motivated me these past few years a lot. I've changed a lot these past few years. And I'm very proud of my growth. And I'm showing a lot of growth this year too. You know, my senior year of high school, a lot of things...
I got a senior!
A lot of things have changed, you know? The way that I interact with people have changed. The way that I view people have changed. And I feel like things are going to just keep changing. Life just changes. You know, in the beginning of high school, I was very reserved. I wasn't really, like, too eager to do things. You know, I got picked to do things. And for me, I'm never going to turn down something that God gives to me.
Amen.
I'm not the type of person to just throw myself into certain things. But, you know, if I stand out, what can I really say? So, I used to get it a lot. Same as you, Ma. The whole, oh, Jemiah's like an old woman. You know, even my best friend, Lachey, she gets the same thing. Oh, Lachey's just a mother. She acts like she's so motherly. But I feel like, you know, people try to, like, make it into, like, a joke and stuff like that. And then when I actually bring up, like, oh, but, you know, I'm not doing this as, like, I'm not doing what I do. I'm not saying what I say in, like, a facade type of way. This is who I am. Mm-hmm. You know, the things that I do, the things that I think, they're all from me. And I feel like I spent most of my life growing up being, like, I wasn't a very expressive person. Like, I kind of just, if things happen, I would tell myself, hey, things just happen. And I wouldn't think to myself, hey, like, how does this affect you, though? How do you feel about it? And I feel like giving myself the chance to be alone, you start to remember things. And when I say remember things, I mean, like, you start to just, like, start thinking about stuff. And for me, once I start thinking, I don't stop thinking.
Okay.
I just always, if something happens, I just think about things. I think about, hey, like, what led up to this? What did I do to either prevent or cause it? And what can I do next time so it doesn't happen again?
Nice. Critical thinking.
And then once you start doing that, it puts you in a headspace where you're not just thinking about, oh, what did Jemiah do? You're thinking like, oh, what did this person do to me? You know, you have to also include yourself in certain things. And I feel like it gets to the point of where it's not just, oh, you become what they would say vain or something like that. It's not just about you. You're not a narcissist. Mm-hmm. You're self-aware. And I feel like that's very important. You have to know, like, hey, like, what I'm doing is wrong and stuff like that. And I feel like I've always been the type of person where, and this changed a lot. I'm going to be honest. Things will go wrong. And I would try my best to tell myself I didn't cause it. But then, you know, you meet certain people and you meet people who aren't afraid to tell you, no, like, you did cause this. And then you have to sit down and think to yourself, okay, that can't happen ever again.
Growth.
Yeah. And, you know, people, you don't want to be the reason that certain things go wrong. But things go wrong. It's life. It's okay. And when you're not surrounded by people who constantly tear you down and point out every little thing, you'll find yourself around people who instead want to build you up off of that and won't keep reminding you of it. You know, improvement. And I feel like I've done a lot of improvement this past few years. And I want to say I've seen more improvement these past 2 years that I've lived alone than I've seen in all my life before that. And I feel like that really did start from time management and actually sitting down with myself and telling myself, hey, I don't like this trait about myself. I need to change that. And I feel like people don't do that enough. People don't do that as much as they should be. If you don't like something that you see in somebody else because of how they treat you, but then you're the same way, that's hypocritical.
It is.
And Jesus don't like hypocrites. So you need to actually think like, oh, I need to change. And that's okay to say.
Yeah.
People are really afraid of change. And that's kind of mind-boggling to me because I love change. I love good change.
Me too.
Yeah, like that's mind-boggling to me. I'm very open-minded. I'm the type of person where I take things into account. You know, I want to see different things. I like different perspectives. I like different ideas. I spend most of my time listening to different theories. Just like my mother would tell you, you search over Jemiah Watches all day. It's just information. I do quizzes. I just look up anything. I'm just so open. Like my mind is just, I need to understand certain things so that I can understand where I place myself in certain things. Because if you don't know, and I used to have this thing too, if you don't know what you're talking about, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
You don't have to give an answer you don't know. It's okay to say, I don't know. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have an answer for everything. And it's okay to be like, hey, actually, what you just asked me about, I need to sit down and think about that, and I'll get back to you. You don't have to just immediately have to speak about everything. The same thing with being available to everybody. Sometimes you don't have to be on the phone. You don't have to talk to that person. You just don't have to. And once I started doing that, you know, people call me like, hey, can I talk to you? I'm busy. Hey, and sometimes you're not even busy. You just don't want to talk. You want to take time for yourself. And that's okay too.
That's still being busy because you're spending time with God. And when God is dealing with you, you saw when we was growing up, and how I was in the room sometime and all the family be out there. I'm in the room for hours because God is taking me on a journey. He's stripping away some things and he's putting some things in me. She been spending time alone with God, came out, boom, I'm going to start this business. Next thing you know, I wake up, this young lady has pans of cakes and everything. and y'all don't see what we get. But, you know, when you spend time with God, you give God that yes. The time that you give to God, he will make it worthwhile. And he will multiply your blessings in different ways. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be the strength. It could be wisdom. It could be understanding. When God is building you up, then that's what it means. No, she's not the first person to bake a cake, to bake a pie. We understand that. But what God has given her is a blessing and a lance. And God can give her some recipes, which he has, that will be standing out. So it's not about, you know, I don't tell her, okay, you're making a cake. I've been making a cake all my life. I don't like that detrimental stuff. I don't like that demolition. Okay, I tell her, go after what God has placed you to do, because whatever God promised you, it's like you go down the block, right? You see different stores. I'm quite sure you don't go in a store and say, hey, you selling sandwiches. This store should shut down and stop selling sandwiches. Because they all are making their business. If you want to support, you can support. If not, if you found you want to support, you know, someplace else, that's your own decision. It's no bitterness. It's no bitterness here. And there are many other business people I know that y'all feel the same way. It's okay. You go where you feel like you're getting the service that you want. But when you start making, issues, like even for myself, for an example, like when I used to invite people in my youth, and they used to say I could go here and get this done, I could go there and get this done. And they would say, go to this person, and they knew that I was doing it. That's your decision. But then when God sends you people that support you, and then you try to compare and be like, oh, you want to work with them, you don't want to work with me. You're being a liar, because you're the one who says that you don't want nothing to do with I'm doing, because you can get it done elsewhere, you could do it yourself. And I gave you that respect. And now that God has drawn people to me who support and respect what I'm doing, you want to start a conflict. So I had friends and associates that became enemies off of that, because they wanted me to do what they wanted me to do and have that self-control. And me, I'm not the nun. I made that clear since throughout life, because what happens is you make an issue, and if I lose that dedication, where they at now? Off doing what they want to do, right? They were progressing who they wanted to progress, and I lead them to that. See, the thing about it is when you leave people to that, people will find an issue or conflict with things just to start trouble. If you really, I'm going to say it again, if you really care about my time, if you really care about the things that I'm doing, help me with the volunteers. I'll have more time. I'll have more expansion. But until then, I can't give way to the negativity. I've been canceling it out since in my youth. And I want to keep that on a straight pathway. I don't want to, some people come around and be like, oh, if you get frustrated, you're going to do this like how you used to do. It's not going to happen. It's not coming back. I can't allow that, because what God is trusting me with, I have to protect it. And it all goes down to God, because God gives the talent. God gives the gift. God gives the wisdom. God gives the understanding. God blesses. God favors. God appoints. So yes, everything I do, it goes down to God, because that's who I want to please, and that's who I serve in the lands. And that's what it's about. And I want to go back on when you said the old lady comment. I want to teach y'all something, community members. If you find something that's just a joke, make sure that you are aware that if it bothers someone and you think that it's just a joke, that you are respectable of someone's emotions as you want people to be respectable of yours. Calling somebody an old lady because they are responsible, and if they call you lazy, or if they call you a bum, or if they call you no good, then what? Then it goes, who do you think you are, right? So ask yourself, who do you think you are? You can't call somebody that, and I overcame it. I was in my youth, but what I'm saying is, if someone says things like that to you because they're not doing with their time what you want them to do, what makes it right for what you judge them about? Are you saying that my time is not as respectable as your time? So you got to think about things like that. And that's why I spend time with God, because I know my time is valuable. I know what I bring forth is valuable. And I do my best so that people can feel welcome and loved and appreciated. But I also make sure God is pleased first. And that's what it comes down to when it comes to time management, accountability, balance, being responsible, and maintaining and adjusting. All of that matters. It's just, if you're going to be supportive, then you can be supportive. If not, it's best not to do the negative remarks, because when you assume things about people and people have a barrier, a branch off, then you don't have a right to say that people, don't want anything to do with you, when it's you who are not being respectable of the things that they're doing. So this is the best advice that I can offer to the communities, especially as a mom that is implementing the structure for her daughter and allowing her daughter to build her own uniqueness through God. That's what it's about. I always tell my daughter, have your unique quality, right? Embrace it. Know who you are. One of the things my daughter used to tell me a lot, especially growing up, she said, everywhere I go is look at little Shay Shay. Look at little Shay Shay. She
Oh
said,
my goodness.
I need my own identity, Mom. Mom, I know I'm your daughter, but Mom, it's just Shay Shay, little Shay Shay. I'm not Shay Shay. I am Jemiah. I am Jemiah. I know that's my mom. And you know, I have to agree. You don't want people to see you when they want their uniqueness to flow. So you gotta be able to respect people. You don't know people's journey, especially if you're not being involved. If you're not being involved, and if you're not praying for people or praying with people, for me, I have people say, I could go live, right? This when I first started years ago. And I would go live, and I would have people see me live, and they would call. I said, I can't take the call right now because we live. The messages I would get, I was calling you, you didn't answer the thing, you were ignoring me, and it's just, devil, get thee behind me. You see me live. Some people, y'all know better. Y'all just don't implement it. Y'all know better. You saw me live. Yeah, but you going live. You could have took the time out to answer the call. Why? Because you think that what I got to do for God is not as important? Mm-hmm. You think I'm just clicking my fingers going live because it's something that I choose to do on my own? If you don't respect what I'm doing and you don't respect my time and you show me that, you got to get to the back burner. Because God first. I don't have to stop the middle of a ministry session and answer the call. And then when I ask you, okay, so what was so important? I wanted to see what you was doing. There's no way. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You wanted to see what I was doing. You saw me live.
But that's what you call monitoring spirit.
It's a monitoring spirit. Yes. That's what I'm trying to tell you, the communities. Don't let nobody knock you off of your stance. Then I'm like, you want to see what I'm doing when you saw me live. So can you please explain to me or make that clear? What is it exactly that you mean by that? And then when you ask that question, oh, do you think I'm stupid? Like, this is the message I got. I got the blog. Do you think I'm stupid? You think I don't? So now, can we ask ourselves, is it me that think that you're stupid? Or is it you saying that you saw me live and yet you messaged me and said, what am I doing? And you told me you saw me live. Is it me that thinks that you're stupid? Because I'm trying to understand, what is it the point that you're getting when you send me all of these messages and you send me these bad messages, but it's not sensible? So yeah, that was something I dealt with early on, and it was happening a lot. But that is spiritual warfare. And, you know, people would feel things about themselves and blame it on you and say that you're making them feel that way. How can I make you feel stupid if, you know, I just want to break this down, communities. How can I make you feel stupid if I'm on live right now and someone is messaging me and they say, I just want to see what you was doing, when they can clearly see, right? And they know I'm live. You wouldn't have known I'm live unless you got the notification. And I'm asking you, so what is it exactly that you mean? And you get into this big ruckus. And that's why you got to be careful of when you interact with other people about others, because they could give that portion. I was trying to contact her. Then she's asking me, well, what do you want? People switch things, because I had it done to me throughout the years. I done lost people that were supposed to be, you know, associates, you know, ministry, circle members, friends. Growing up, I say friends, even though classmates, you know, and you got to give people the full story. No, I'm quite sure they didn't say she was live. I interrupted. She even said it on live. She can't answer because she's live. And yet, I seen her live, and I asked her what she was doing. Now, if somebody come to you and say that, would you support that? Absolutely not. Because you will put the fault on the person, but they do it in a way to make you feel bad for them for what they want to pull you away. Because that's how the enemy works. So that's why I say it's best, like, it's a thing. Satan really works so that you won't get God's work done, and especially you won't have that individual growth. You gotta know who you are. And I always commend my daughter, like, take your time that you need. You know, I don't do well with pressure outside of God. I'm gonna just let y'all know that right now. If you didn't know, now you know, baby. No, I'm just playing. If you didn't know, I don't do well. Like when people like, if you don't answer my call, don't ever talk to me again. Listen, whoa. I feel like somebody just put a net on my head. Like, you put the hook, they try to catch the fish. No, you can't hook me like that. That's a net? I'm sorry. That's a net that just can't hook on. No, but in all honesty, respect one another. Respect.
I've lost a lot of friends because of that. Because I'm not the type of person where if you...
Or classmates, you could say.
Yeah. Or associates. I like to use associates. Where, like, if something happens and then you try to, like, install this fear into me of, like, oh, you're going to lose me. I'm not chasing anyone. I don't chase people. It's kind of like, if we're going to be in each other's life and be helping each other, then that's that. But you texting me stuff like, oh, you're going to wish that you didn't do this and that. I'm really not. I'm never going to wish that, actually. And because you told me that, now I don't want to even try to rekindle. Now I don't want to fix it. Because now I see how you act when something doesn't go your way. And I feel like understanding people, you have to understand a person when they're under pressure. You have to understand a person when they're angry. A person's true colors come out when they're angry.
Amen.
And that's just the truth. You'll see what someone really thinks about you. You'll see how someone truly feels about you. You have to really take what people say into consideration. The tongue is very powerful. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times people always say, what they say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I do not believe in that.
No.
I do not believe in that.
Amen. I'm glad you said that. I do not
believe in that. People have said some really bad things to me. And I feel like to be told, like, right after, and you tell someone, hey, like, that hurt my feelings, or you tell someone else, like, they told me this, and then the person tells you, hey, don't be hurt by it because sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. That's not true. The words did hurt me. Mm-hmm. And we have to actually start taking that into, like, consideration, mm-hmm. that what you say really reflects your personality. Like, it really reflects your mindset, it reflects your thoughts, and it gets deeper than that. The things that people say to you, it's not just, oh, they're saying it. People have intentions behind that, they have agendas behind that, and that's another reason why you can't hang around just anybody. Mm-hmm. You can't just associate with everybody, you can't be around everybody. People have different mindsets, and people are really good at putting on facades. Mm-hmm. And you have to be, that's why you have to have discernment from God, though. If you have discernment, the Holy Spirit will tell you, hey, don't go with that person. Don't speak to that person. Yeah. Don't make yourself available to everybody.
Amen.
You need to be able to understand that, words, thoughts, mindsets, those are all interlinked. Mm-hmm. The way that a person feels about you when they're angry also can reflect how they feel about you when they're calm. Mm-hmm. Just because someone doesn't, say how they feel, that don't mean that they don't feel it. I felt sad a lot of times. People ask me how you doing. I say, oh, I'm fine, I'm happy. But that wasn't the truth. Just because someone doesn't say, oh, like, this really bothered me and I feel this way towards you now. Now I have an agenda towards you. Just because someone doesn't say it doesn't mean that they aren't planning it. And that's very dangerous. And again, I feel like that's why you need to have discernment. And you need to be really, locked in on what you accept. Because if someone told you something, I'm gonna use my own life experience. If someone told you something like, I'm gonna choke you or something like that, and you choose to think, oh, they're just joking. They said that because they were angry. That's not no joking matter. Mm-mm. And then you think to yourself, nah, they're just playing around. Oh, they don't really mean it. And then, they get calm and then they tell you, oh, no, I'm just joking. I didn't really mean that. I was just angry. But why would you say that even if you're angry? You know, I've experienced anger. Now, I didn't say certain things. I didn't threaten people. I didn't want to harm anyone.
From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Exactly.
That's what it's about. But when you take heed, you take heed. So intertwining, you know, our time with loved ones, and this is also understanding that everyone is not on the same mission. So I don't impose what I'm doing on my loved ones. Always welcome, you know, I pray, but I don't impose that. And I just give, you know, honor to God for the opportunities He gives and what I'm responsible for and what I'm able to help my daughter cultivate in life. Yes. Well, this was great. And this concludes our live Q&A.
Yes.
And we'll be back. We're going to be doing the Surviving the Single Parenting Part 3. And we look forward to that. May you have a wonderful night. Glory to Heavenly Father.